Chorus, crest.
except
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm just batting 1,000 here today, ain't I, Lisa?
Steve,
Hi, Roman. I
Roman.
can't find Melanie. Where did I put Melanie? There she is. You know why that didn't work this time? I took you to the other studio to show you that dog. Well, we had a great time this morning. I don't know what I'm doing. You give me too much time off, that's it. You got to completely teach me again.
Start over.
So, who do you have there for Foster? You have Maggie.
Maggie.
It's actually her last day here. She is going on transport this week. She's
All right.
been adopted.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool. And Roman's here. He's going to be talking about a few things. We got a couple dogs here we want to get featured and adopted. And then we've got another dog here that we just want to show her to you. Yeah. You ever take a dog, you ever adopt a dog and you get that dog over there and all of a sudden, wow, this ain't the dog I thought it was going to be. This dog's all upside down, unstable and everything. That's why we've got her here. Okay? Because we're going to be able to show you that they're not all going to just jump in a car, go a 2,000-mile trip, get in your car or get in your home and be the perfect dog that knows your languages, your dog's languages. They're not even speaking the same language yet. Okay? And we're going to show you or give you some tips of what we can do about it at the time. Okay? To make this an easy transition. It's got to be a transition. Okay? And Roman's actually good at that. Roman did a video called "Adopted a Dog, Now What?" Yeah, that's a very good video all these years later because it still applies. Wow. So we want to get going here. Who do we want to do first, Lisa? Because I'm gonna. Wow. She got adopted, huh?
She did.
Maggie. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, how about we? Who do you want to bring up? Let's just bring them all up.
Bring them all up. Yeah. Let's see who's ready.
All right, I still got the wrong thing showing here. I got to bring the screens
Whoever you
up.
can bring up.
How about we bring up Debbie? Because I got to learn how to pronounce her dog's name.
Right.
Ursus.
Ursus.
Right? Okay. Well, let's play this really cool video that happened to happen, and boy, that really came out good too, Melanie. Melanie did great on these videos. Melanie did the videos this week, Roman. So here we go. He's something else.
Hi, you guys.
He sure does love life, doesn't he?
He does. He does. And don't
And
let
right
his
now he loves
age fool
sleeping.
you guys. He is very, very active for his age.
And I would have never guessed he was how old is he? Going to be 6?
He's going to be 6, yeah, in
Yeah.
May, I think.
Wow.
I would have never guessed he was that old.
Yeah, no, he is very young at heart and active.
He makes everything he does fun.
He does. He
He
is
does.
an
He does.
easy boy,
And except for cats.
except for cats. If you're a cat, then it's not so easy.
And that's the only restriction he has, right?
Yeah, and I would say small kids because of his size.
Well,
You
yeah.
saw in the video,
Wag his
him
tail.
playing, very
Yeah.
easily knock over a small child. But older
Yep.
kids, I think he would be fine with. You know, we walk by the bus stop every morning, and the kids, you know, with their parents there, you know, say hello to him, and he's great with them. He's friendly with every person he meets. He loves people. Loves female dogs. He has play dates with female dogs. So I think a home that has a female for him to have a buddy would be a good thing. But the most important thing about him is his walks. He loves walks. So the people that adopt him, yes.
Hey,
need
Libby.
walkers.
Isn't that Libby back there?
Yes, the Libby is, yep. Libby was one of our dogs. So Libby doesn't live far from me.
Nice.
So we do play dates with Libby and her sister Bella.
Yep. Bella's
So
the
he
Akbosh,
does great
right?
with them.
Bella was the Akbosh, right?
Yeah, she's the
Yeah.
Akbosh.
Libby's the sweet little peer.
But he is super easy, highly intelligent. He loves to do his puzzles in his snuffle mat here. He loves just super smart. So I always try to keep him stimulated with something. But again, the biggest thing is he loves his walk. So whoever adopts him needs to enjoy walking because he that's his favorite thing to do is go on walks.
Hey, Melanie, would you please bring Chris up? There's no sense in keeping him down in the green room now that I think about it. Because the idea behind this was for a reason. Hi, Chris.
Nope.
Well, you'd have to unmute yourself probably. Chris knows how to work this. We're saving one just for his show here in about a week or two, probably.
And yes, Sydney, Ursus is an excellent snuggler.
Ursus, I think, reinvented snuggling, didn't he?
Yep. He loves to snuggle. When I'm watching TV or something in the evening, I'll just sit on the floor with him, and this is our routine. He's got this big orthopedic dog bed, and we share it, and we just snuggle and watch TV. He does great and sleeps through the night. He's not a night barker. He doesn't patrol at night. He sleeps till morning, and he's just an easy going guy.
And how long have you had him? How long have you had him? I'm sorry? I asked you how long you had him. I can't remember how long you had him.
I've had him for 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Yeah.
Cool. And we brought Chris up for a reason because that first week or so, he was a little beside himself, wasn't he?
He was, yes. So his story was he actually had been adopted, and they returned him after a week. Because he was chasing their cats.
Oh, the cat. Well, that can be different.
So it's like, what's going on? You know, he was confused. His whole routine was, different. He had bonded with the gentleman that had adopted him. So he was a little confused when we first got him. But I reached out to Steve, and we came up with a plan, and he's doing beautifully. He's adjusted
there's also
really
a possibility.
well, as you can.
I'm sorry, I talked over you, Debbie.
I can't say enough good things about him. He's just
right. And I just wanted to touch on the cat for a second. He returned because he chased a cat. If a cat runs, a dog will most likely chase after it. Okay. Now, here's the thing.
Yes.
what happens if they catch the cat? What would have happened then? Well, we're never going to find out. They sent him back to rescue.
Right.
Right.
They're not
Right.
a
But
breed.
he did great with Melissa's cat.
Yeah,
you know,
well, and that's what I was going to
so-
say. With knowing what I know about him now, I'm going to have to say he probably been okay with the cat. Be my guess.
Yeah, what Sydney says, they didn't give him a chance to settle in. Truthfully.
That's right.
I agree.
That's right.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
that's why Miss Winkle's up here too. And we'll get into that in a little bit. So now you said he'd do great with a female companion too, right?
I really think so. I
Good.
work from home, and I can see sometimes he gets a little bored. And even though, I keep him entertained with his puzzles and stuff, and we do frequent walks, I think having a female companion would be wonderful for him.
Yep.
He does really well with them. And I think just having, that companion and a friend would be a good thing for him.
Yeah. But older children could substitute for that too. But at the same time, he's doing fine as an only dog too.
Oh, absolutely. As long as, I will say, if he's an only dog, again, whoever adopts him, really, I'm serious when I say
him.
You have to walk him. You don't have to take him for crazy long walks, but I mean, he goes for about 4 to 5 walks a day. And some of them are just 5 minutes to the end of the street and back. Lunchtime, we do a little longer walk, but he is a boy who loves to get out and explore and do his walks. And he will absolutely let you know if he needs
He did too, didn't he? He taught you this.
Yes.
Well,
he will start pacing and whining. It's like, it's time. But he does. He just enjoys his walks. So
yeah, they're masters at communication, and if you don't listen, they're masters at intimidation too.
That's well said.
Amy or Lisa, do you have any questions for Debbie?
Debbie, you're located up in the Pacific Northwest, correct?
I am, yes.
So ideally, we would like his family, any interested adopters in that area, he wouldn't be transported back to Texas.
No, they would have to be definitely in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah.
Yep.
And we discovered recently he loves the snow.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
We had our first snow. It was crazy. He loved it.
good.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. He probably hadn't seen snow until
Yeah. So when we, normally, like I say, we do short walks, but the days that we had snow, he was like, "No, we're not turning around." He's like, I like this. We're still gonna walk, right?
Well, he's
he's just
such
so
a
good.
good
I can't
dog.
stress enough that
Perfectly
he's
content.
just such an easy boy.
Yeah.
He's just a love bug, and anybody would be so lucky to have this guy.
Wow, that's awesome. All right. Great Pyrenees Rescue Society.org. That's where he's at right now. How do you pronounce his name?
Ursus.
Ursus. So I was right.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I guess the Latin name for bear is Ursus something, Ursus arcana or something like that. So that's where it comes from, bear.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
All right.
But he's a love bug. You guys come and adopt him. You will be sorry. You'll love him.
And speaking of love bugs, our next girl coming up. Well, I'm not talking about Maggie. Maggie's already been adopted. She doesn't count. Winkle, now on the other hand, I think Winkle is going to be a tough one for Chris to let go of. But he's got one that was impossible to let go of already. So
I have a dog named Mocha that I adopted back about a year ago, November or December. Yep. He's 100 pounds, and I found out he's nothing of the breed. He chases balls. He doesn't bark much. He loves walks. He's quiet as a church mouse in the house. He grazes when he eats, and everyone's like, "Are you sure he's a Great Pyrenees?" My answer is,
I've seen him. He is.
I think so. He's everyone, but all the behaviors that everyone talks about, like she's not a grazer. She's, when food comes out, she wants to eat it all. From her standpoint, we have to now be a lot more mindful of stuff on our tables. She also barks at TV shows.
She'll keep your counters cleared off for you, right?
She keeps us on our toes. That's for sure. But
Roman was going to. We were going to do a series with Roman. What did you title that, Roman? From the fields to the table.
Yeah.
And we was going to. Well, anyway. So anyway, this next one we've got coming up, some of you may know, you may remember her, but I'll tell you what, I can't believe this dog is still in rescue.
I know.
This is an amazing girl, and she has a brand new video, and we're going to play that, and we're going to bring Bailey up. Wow. Did I bring her up? Yep.
Yeah,
She's up there somewhere. There you are over there.
Yeah, up here.
I couldn't see you.
Yeah.
Oh, and you have Julio also, right?
I do, yes. He's also
Okay.
working on
Hey,
it all.
Lisa, I'm going to let you take lead on this one because I'm going to take a nap real quick, okay?
No, you're not.
Oh, okay.
So Molly, go ahead,
What's
Steve.
she licking?
So there's frozen oatmeal and peanut butter stuffed inside of this Kong for her.
Oh, that's a Kong.
Yeah, a
Wow.
Kong of
Gotcha.
sorts. Yeah. So she's
Cool.
she's working hard on it. We did a 3-mile walk about an hour ago, so she's still kind of coming down and relaxing from that.
Okay. And wait a minute. You took her for a walk. Why didn't that calm her down and tire her out?
There's still just a lot of noises. So we're in an apartment and lots of dogs and construction and stuff going on around us. So anytime she hears something, she likes to let us know. So we're just trying to let her know that she doesn't have to be on guard all the time here.
Right. And a walk isn't a guarantee to tire a dog emotionally either.
Correct.
That's
yes.
a brain stimulant that you'd want to do that with, which is
Right.
what she's getting.
Yeah. Yep. But she does respond well to this, and she likes treats as well. We're still doing the little program that Steve sent us within the first few months of having her. So we've had her for about 9 months now. And when she first came to us, she was definitely a little bit more like alerting to any little thing that happened, even like dogs that were across the street. She would get a little too excited to see them, but we've got a good little program with treats and learning how to just kind of remain calm and lay down and respond to us a little bit more than having to be on guard all the time.
So you took over some of her job.
Yeah, she gets lots of treats and toys, and lots of stimulating activities, kind of like Ursus with his snuffle mat. She eats breakfast out of a snuffle mat.
Snuffle mats are good.
Yes.
So anyway, back to you, Lisa.
Molly, how old is Bailey?
So she's about 2.5.
Is she still young? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
still definitely young. When we got her, her paperwork said 2, but I think she was a little more around like 1.5. So I'm pretty comfortable saying she's around 2 now.
Okay.
But she's definitely like taken, like the last couple of months is when we started to see a little bit more of like the change of truly settling in. So it did take her. Oh,
Bye, Bailey.
she loves that toy. But yeah, it did take her all of at least 6 months, I would say, to get a little bit more comfortable here for sure.
And that's the thing. We're not the timers. The dogs are the timers. They're wearing the timers.
Yes, exactly. But as you can see, I mean, when we first got her, she was shaved because she had a bunch of burrs and stuff in her coat. But now, I mean, she is definitely super, super fluffy.
Wow.
But yeah.
She is. Look at that.
Hi.
And she doesn't want you near her Kong, it looks like.
She's gotten really smart with that thing where once she gets to a certain point, she'll start flipping it up in the air and little pieces will fall
so you
out.
want to be close enough to catch it.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, she's a very smart dog. Like there's a bone right next to that I'll fill also with like treats and peanut butter and stuff like that, and she'll flip those up in the air and
Okay.
hopefully they land on carpet,
so
right?
she doesn't have much resource guarding problems?
Not at all, actually. She's out of the 10
Good.
fosters I've had, she is the easiest one to, I mean, even the trade up technique, like if I just kind of get her attention off of it, she'll let you take it. So
that's awesome because
yeah,
not a lot of folks have those bragging rights. All right.
Right. Yeah.
And
She's
it doesn't mean that when she moves to the next home, she's not going to guard her food in the beginning, especially. Okay.
right.
So because you'll be moving her, and that's going to change a few things here for a little while.
Yes, for sure. But there she
She's
goes.
having a ball.
I know. And then she found the other treats that I have. So, but yeah, she's definitely still full of energy. I think she would need a playmate that's a little bit closer to her age because Julio, the other one,
needs a break.
Yeah. Yeah, he likes he can hang with her for like 10 or 15 minutes, but she could go much longer.
Isn't Julio senior now?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
He's showing his age a little bit more, but yeah, she's super playful. She'll play with toys actually. I know that's not something that a lot of peers tend to do, but if she's showing a little bit more energy in the house yet, we're able to grab a toy and kind of throw it around for her and she'll chase after it. So
well, I don't know why everybody keeps saying peers don't play with toys because they do.
They clearly do.
Yeah, there's proof right there.
But yeah, and then walks. She does awesome on a leash. We're still working on not getting so excited seeing another dog because I think she just wants to play with any dog that's available or there.
So that's what the excitement's about. She doesn't want to eat them. She wants to go check them out and play with them.
Yes, yeah. Okay. She gets excited, but definitely a lot more redirectable now than when we first got her. And she actually, being that we're in an apartment complex, there's lots of other dogs here, and we've actually been able to start going to the dog park itself over the last couple of months, and she's made a few new friends. So,
oh boy,
yeah. So she's
nice work.
Capable. She's capable for sure. But yeah, like I said, she could go pretty far for a walk. We've taken her as long as 4 or 5 miles. So if you're a hiker or you like to be active, what'd you put in
there? I gotta ask. What'd you put in there? Gold?
Oatmeal and peanut butter.
Okay.
And a little bit of banana. So I've come up with a bunch of different concoctions since having her to try to keep her stimulated and off with the noise. There she is. Yeah, she's she's a great dog. She's super sweet.
Well, that's
She
not that wasn't excessive barking.
No, and she's going to the door right now. She thinks I think might have heard the door
Oh,
open.
well, now that could be a problem if you have a FedEx package you have to sign for. She can't sign for it.
Yeah, but like I said, we can redirect her to a
Well, yeah,
certain
you
extent.
actually always could to an extent even when you first got her, because she's a people dog, right?
Yes, exactly. She loves to snuggle, for sure. Come here.
And she also loves her Julio too.
Yes, she loves. Yeah, she definitely loves to play. Oh, come on. Come on,
So
Herman.
now, is she going to need another dog in the home, or just recommend
Yes.
another dog in the home?
She definitely needs another dog. I
Okay,
would
there you
think.
have it.
The younger the better, for sure. Just because she's still got a lot of playful energy around, but
Okay. You know when Lisa, when Molly starts getting our age, she'll stop saying that the younger the better stuff. You know.
yeah,
Yeah,
better for her. Can you sit?
She's gorgeous. Jesus,
Yes.
she wears that coat well, doesn't she?
Yeah, her fur has grown in beautifully, for sure.
Okay, I see crates in the background. Does she do well in the crate too?
Yeah, she does. We've had people come and do some work on the apartment, so we've had to put her in there per the apartment policy, and she goes in it.
Oh,
She
okay.
doesn't love it, but
So she's
she
not
does.
crazy about it. She's typically not crate trained per se. Then
Correct. Yes.
good,
We
good.
don't
She's
have
not
to.
ruined to a crate then.
No, and
Okay,
I mean,
good.
unless people come over that are doing work in the apartment, we don't have to put her in there.
Right.
She had more puppy energy at first, where she would grab like some cardboard boxes and chew on them, but
No.
she hasn't wrecked anything for at least 6 months now. So
Awesome.
we've
Yeah.
gotten a lot of that energy out.
Just out of curiosity, what's the last thing she wrecked? Were you able to frame it?
No, I think it was a hair clip.
Oh, uh-oh. Phew,
So,
boy, I knew a dog just lost his home about a year ago over a hair clip like that.
oh no, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't her fault. It was just there, and she wanted to play with it. So,
Yeah. Well, I was making a funny. That sadly is sometimes true.
yes, for sure.
We got to stop blaming our dogs for everything, so you don't have to rehome them. How about that?
Exactly.
If you don't blame,
Yes.
if that's not the dog's fault, there wouldn't be any reason to get rid of your dog.
Right.
That's a
Right.
good theory, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Let's try that one.
Yeah. And she I know some people say that peers aren't very snuggly, but she's totally
Where
more on
were
the-
you hearing this stuff?
the internet, right?
Your
Facebook.
I haven't met. Okay, maybe a working LGD, maybe not be that snuggly, but the sheep might have something different to say about that.
Yeah,
though.
and I think just compared to like labs or like pit bulls or people like dogs breeds that tend to be super people oriented, she is
Okay.
definitely more people oriented.
Okay.
She'll like lean and fall into you when she's feeling like getting pet.
So if you fall over, she falls over on top of you?
Yes, for
Okay.
sure. She gets so excited when we come home from work, and then in the morning.
That's going to be a talking point, Roman, up the road, huh? Thank you.
And then in the mornings, if she sees us move, she'll hop into bed when we say it's okay.
Oh, cool.
And
but
snuggle.
now let me ask you this, because I'm pretty sure I remember this right. She doesn't really do too much unless she checks in with you first, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And why is she doing that? Fill the viewers in what I meant by that.
Yeah, I think she's just looking for our
help, guidance, or approval.
Yes, approval. Just to be like,
and in her case, she's seeking quite a bit of approval at her age, right?
Yes, for sure.
Good.
For sure.
Now,
but
is she getting better at accepting the non-approval?
I think so. Yeah. For
okay,
sure.
good. That means you're getting better at relaying it.
Right. Yeah, like like I said, she used to be pretty on guard and bark whenever anything happened in the apartment. But as you can see, we can kind of redirect a lot easier now.
This is amazing.
So,
All right.
and then she also loves kids too. So we had my roommate's 7-year-old and 10-year-old here for a weekend, and she absolutely adored them.
Wow.
Wow.
So
And she likes your dad.
Yes, yep. She loves all people.
And the important part to that part of it is Julio likes your dad.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I think that helped now that he is okay with men in the house as well.
Julio had a little bit of a road ahead of him when Molly and Tommy got him, and let's put it this way: they didn't have they had no social life.
Yes.
It was he did not like the male species of the human race.
Correct. Yes, something happened where he did not like them. But
and
he's
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say he's good now. We've had a lot of, like, my parents are coming. My roommate's parents have come and stayed with us, and my roommate's boyfriend has been able to come over, and he is okay with it.
And that's nice work. I don't know what else to say. Nice work.
Yeah, and I think just building that trusting relationship with the dog is the most important part of that.
And by the way, just because he was just because he started back then to get along with men, you never stopped teaching him that they're okay, did you?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Because you don't, just because they're doing what you asking them to do, don't stop teaching them.
Right.
I mean, I'm not preaching at you, Molly. I'm just
I know.
explaining that.
Yeah. No, I mean, it purely, like you said earlier, it just takes some time for them to settle in and understand that you're there to help them. And
and we're not in a foot race with anybody.
Right, exactly. So I think if you're willing to put the time and effort in there, it's well worth it, because the relationship that we have now with Julio and the relationship that we've built with Miss Bailey here is awesome. I mean, they're great dogs.
All right. Perfect. All right. We're tapping into Roman's time here, I think, because Roman's got some exciting stuff, and I would like Chris to, kind of summarize with Roman what you and I talked about. But basically, I mean, you can tell him everything if you want, but let's keep it kind of short because Roman's got some pretty important talking points.
Fair enough. So, Crispy Hand out of Houston, Texas. We have Mocha, who's been at our house for about 15 months. He's been the lead dog, and we
don't see her anywhere.
Transition to come over. We picked up Winky, who's a beautiful 85-pound, one blue eye, one brown eye, Great Pyrenees mix. I think it's a mix because of the way her hips look like, or her coat versus Mocha's. We met her at headquarters. She was a great dog then, and when we got home, she turned into a different dog. So she went being friendly at where there's 20 or 30 dogs to being aggressive with my dog, Mocha, who's a gentle giant. So you can, if you see the pictures there. So we're going over transition. This is our third foster, our first two fosters. There's no issue. We brought the dog home, everything copacetic. The other, and Mocha's male, walked it in, not a big deal. This one has been a little bit of a challenge, but she's a great dog. She likes walks. She likes to be brushed. She's a lover, not a fighter, but she is timid with sounds. So if it's zipper sounds or
sound, right? Is that what you said?
I'm sorry, what?
You said she's timid with sound.
Yes. So if my wife has her zipper, her cooler that she takes to work and comes home and unzips it, she'll bark. If we are watching a TV show, she'll bark if the dog barks. She almost barked today when the dogs bark. I had to come.
And how long has she been there counting today so far?
9 days.
9 days. Okay.
So each day gets better. And also we put up, let me see if I can take this down. We put up some children.
I was going to ask you about your blue graphs there.
I'll change it so you can see what's none. So you can see that we put up the
Baby gate.
So we're in our family room. Our milk is outside. She's down on the side here. So she's relaxed, right? She's chill. And but when he comes in, they're both good outside. Both good outside. When he comes in, that's when the tension picks up. And this morning, so I didn't get in trouble, but I have to sleep out in the family room with the dog. So that's the old joke, being married. And so she's in her crate. And so last night she didn't make a peep because she knew I was out here. But from that standpoint, when Mocha came out, there was a little bit of barking. But they haven't done the sniffing part, which is with the gate. They haven't come by. She sits by it and she has her back to it. But there hasn't been as much engagement as I was hoping as they do outside.
Well, you just put the gate up too.
Correct.
Right. But they are sniffing outdoors now, right?
Oh yeah. Today there's a lot more back end sniffing.
Okay. So, they may not even sniff through the gate, but what we want is we want them both to feel comfortable because of the gate.
Correct.
Okay. So, and whatever else happens, so they can interact safely now. And if they want to sniff, they can sniff. If they want to kiss, they can kiss.
Correct.
So, and they'll let you know when it's ready to take the gate down. And then if you miss it, they'll just take the gate down for you.
And then today she got a little bit playful for him, and he got a little bit like, do I trust you or not trust you?
I know that feeling. All right.
So she started doing this, and he's like,
So we're basically, we've slowed down a little bit here with those two, right?
Most definitely.
All right. So anyway, that's what we wanted to point out to folks. She's been there a grand total of 9 days. She is destabilized for all practical purposes, and the Great Pyrenees relies heavily on stability. We rely on stability. What do you think, Roman?
Well, there is a magic word called relocation stress.
Yeah.
That includes all the above: resource guarding, territorial aggression, people aggression, dog-to-dog aggression, separation anxiety, you name it, it's in there. They lost their safe place, and now going into a new situation, they have to kind of get back to their old routines. The problem is if we just let them, let's call it decompress, we're not doing them a favor, because decompression is nothing to decompress, considering what the dog needs is to bond and have a guide through the entire process. So while most people think decompression, leave the dog alone to get the dog comfortable, I says, meet the dog's needs, become your trusted partner. Try to communicate, see what your dog's preferred and what not, what are the weak points, and start supporting the dog through the process. Imagine you being dumped in a place that you haven't a clue of, you don't even know which country it is, you don't speak the language, and they let you decompress. You're hungry, you're thirsty, you don't know what to do, you feel threatened all the time, and you have nobody to rely on. That's not decompression, that's even more pressure. Mm-hmm. So that's why important is not to rush interactions with other dogs, because we don't know the dog's past history. And since behavior is very complex, just like with people, you meet the person on the street, will you get married just because he's a nice guy? No, you want the history. Right, the exes and
sometimes we may not want that history. Okay,
right. But it is important, especially if we put the risk on our life in place. So right. Just the same dogs, just because we feel comfortable with the dog and the dog feels comfortable with us, doesn't mean the dog is comfortable with any other situation.
Right.
For example, if the other dog, has joint injury and she wants to play with the dog and jumps on the dog, and the dog all of a sudden feels attacked, there's a natural behavior to stop it from happening, which she can take in as aggression, and then we have a fight happening out of nowhere, by accident, lack of communication skills, right? Mm-hmm. A dog from a hoarding situation will not have the skills of communication that a pet dog has that has been through different homes, right? And so we have always had to take in consideration. So behavior is not one thing. It's a multiple things that come together and express themselves as behavior.
Right. And there is some good news behind everything. I've heard people say many a time, and they don't come with an instruction manual. Well, yeah,
Right.
that's probably right, but there is an instruction manual you can pick up, isn't there, Roman?
Yeah, that too. But we have a guardian dog instruction manual in form of.
And we also have guardian. This is a generalized instruction manual, okay? What was that? Guardian instruction manual?
Now, I did a video the other day, so I printed out the fake instructions.
Gotcha.
It's not in there.
And so instruction manual isn't all that hard, but if we miss that need, now we're working on something that was unnecessary, and the dog's wondering what the heck you're doing.
Right.
Okay.
So I got a quick question, if I can pipe in. So with Winky, I take her out back with Mocha, and I actually take a blanket outside, and I get down prone, right? I'm lying down flat as can be, and she'll come by me, and I just lie there with her and pet her, right? And so she's gotten very relaxed with that, and to the point where if I stop petting her, she touches me, which tells me she likes engagement. And she's probably within 15 feet of Mocha, once again, not aggressive. And she has her back to him. Like, she doesn't feel like where I lie, she can sit whatever way, but she doesn't feel defensive where she would have to look at him. She has her back to him and allows me to pet her. And also when we go out I take them for walks, but we have a pretty big backyard where I throw, stuffed animals and they chase them down, which we've had a little bit of issue. But overall, if I'm walking with both of them, I tell them, I call them over, look at me and all that stuff. And it's been working. Yesterday was really a good day for that. And even this morning or up until a few hours ago, everything's been going well. We've been waiting to get on the show since she's chilling right now. But so question, what are good examples when you talk about transitioning, right? You said don't drop them in or just don't let them, fend for themselves. What are good examples for folks like us who want to be fosters? And, I have 3 boys, different children, different needs. And what I've learned really quick is different, dogs, different fosters. And so everyone is like a unique fingerprint. And so are dogs. And so my question to you is, what are key things that we should look for, and how can we help facilitate a safer transition?
Great question. First of all, think human. I know people says don't humanize dogs, which is BS, because in reality, we are both mammals. We both have family systems. We both are complex creatures. The first thing that a dog wants is safety, feeling safety. So before you do anything else, you have to be consistent. The dog needs to have his needs met, biological needs and emotional needs, before we even talk about social needs, which means start creating a routine. The dog should know what's going to happen in an hour from now. So keep an hour schedule. And once that hour schedule is consistent, the dog already calms down and you already start communicating. So I noticed earlier you said, I get my dog's attention to look at me. Be very careful with that for several reasons. A dog who feels threatened will not be able to look at you. So asking the dog to look at you, you're exposing the dog to a threat that you haven't fixed yet.
Okay.
Got it.
Instead, I would say, get your dog's attention and walk away from there. Show the dog that walking away, it's totally acceptable and gets you super awesome bonus. Because we're dealing with a guardian dog who in challenge situations is being bred to attack. We want a pet dog to be reframing the concept of attack to teach him another option. If you see a problem, let's walk away from it. Who cares? Walking away is totally acceptable. It's totally fine.
Okay.
And that gives you the option. Then the dog will look up to you, voluntarily telling you, I'm going to lose my shit right now. And you says, okay, let's go now. That communication. If the dog only learns to look at you because you told him to, then you basically take away that free communication
Choice.
skill.
No, the
Right.
choice
Well,
of like with people. There's some
Right.
people who
Right.
like to be led, and some people who want choice to be led.
Right.
Well, no, I've got
Now-
him doing a look at me instead of Mocha, and then we continue on with look at me so we can do this. I want him to be able to refocus him.
Right.
But also when I'm having her look at me, for example, I'm also go over and I pet her and I'm like love on her, right?
Mhm.
I don't want her to think that if I do call her and say, look at me, it's bad. It's like I'll rub her really good. And now she gets to the point now when I rub her, that if I stop rubbing, she starts using a paw, which she learned from Mocha because Mocha, he likes to be pet. So she viewed this a few times, and now she's
Right.
doing this to me, going, "Hey," and I'm
And
like,
he
I want
knows
to-
that just because he asked doesn't mean she has to.
"Correct."
I want to point out that we have to be very careful. If we use the word attention, any type of word that means attention, and we pair it with affection, then it's going to mean if I want the dog's attention, I actually give him reward, which often I don't want to. All I want is attention to get the dog out of there. I don't want to reward the situation.
Okay.
So you want to create a neutral word that means only attention for further important information to follow. It's like, hey, honey, does it mean anything particular other than paying attention or you're in trouble? Right? So honey is totally neutral. It doesn't tell you exactly what's going to happen. But if you hear your last name, ooh, you know you are in trouble. So that's why it's important to use a name that is neutral and doesn't have any particular expectations other than solution. Not reward and not punishment. Now, if we adopt a dog who is paired with name equals punishment, then we have a problem because we have to come up with a new plan of a new name that is not directly associated with the X.
Yeah.
Make sense?
If you got something like that associated with the dog's name, it needs a new name.
Right? So that's why it's very tricky. And I wouldn't kind of like put it blank out there, get your dog's attention. Just
Right.
like that.
And that's not something that he's living to say either. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we're working through a situation here that's temporary,
Right. But
and
that would be
and
a
that's
good
because the
thing.
dog's so new.
When we've started that in the beginning, we can use those words for the next transition. So as
That's
we
right.
go through the transition and pay attention to the skills that a dog builds up, we can see a trajectory of learning curve.
Mhm.
And that is what their adopter finally will work with. If we
Right.
teach
You
them a
have
certain
something to
pattern,
give the adopter is
Right, if
exactly
we-
the steps you took.
if we teach the dog those patterns in that sequence and then give that pattern and sequence to the adopter to follow through with it, the dog will think this guy is one of us. He knows stuff. He
Yeah.
knows exactly what I understand too. So both speak the same language and you have prepared for it. So what I usually do with dogs that I work with, most of my dogs I work with are not regular pets. They are most like troubled. Building that consistency is most important thing. We don't talk a lot. The less you talk, the better, because your body language and your gestures are the feedback. So instead of talking too much, is paying attention to the feedback. Imagine somebody reached out to you and you reach out there and they're suddenly rejected. And you're like, what happened? That is a feedback. So if your dog does something you don't want, let him know, not that you're upset about it, but you feel threatened or you dislike it by not proceeding any further. Stop what you're doing. Let him know, right now I'm frozen and I will not be able to proceed. So do something about it. And the dog offers a behavior that you like, and then that releases you. The dog should learn that he is in control of you, right? And important, we get a rescue dog with unknown past and we want to control him, we're
Yeah.
becoming one of the problem. The more control that dog has, the safer he feels. So I want the dog to have completely control in a logical frame. I want him to tell him. I want him to tell me that he wants to go for a walk. I just take the cue, which means I want to go for a walk. Sure, I can do that for you. You want that treat I have? And sitting gets it done? Sit and you get the treat. I'm not telling you what to do, but everything that you offer, I translate it in a certain way. So the dog learns the language that I hear, and that his behavior is directly related with my behavior.
But he
you
also
will
has
see
he
if
also
there's
has
discussion-
choices he can make too.
right. If you see a hostage situation, the one thing that the hostage negotiator wants is for the person who has the hostages to feel in control. That makes him stable. That makes him predictable. And take the same consideration. So once you have that set and you have that communication skill set, the next thing you want to do is teach him how to not do things. That things that are inappropriate will get your feedback. You stop doing what you're doing, and your dog will stop what you're doing too. So if your dog pulls on a leash and you don't move, the dog learns that pulling doesn't move. Therefore, he will stop moving, not through punishment, not through corrections,
Right.
and not through treats. The treats are to reward his decision for not pulling on the leash,
Right.
not to not pull on the leash. So you cannot teach a dog to not think of an elephant. Right? Once you say it, it's there. So what you instead reward is the performed behavior that is in alignment. So all these little things come into place, and the dog gets already his route. Then once he understands those messages, and your other dog who is in the home knows those messages, now your new dog sees that the other dog is not concerned about you managing that dog, and the whole stress level comes down because your resident dog sees you managing that dog. Daddy gets it. Mommy has control of it.
Yeah.
And that takes him less stress. Less stress means better communication. Better communication means less problems.
Yeah.
I know it sounds very simple, but once you put them down on a map, how would you feel being in a strange place? What would you want to happen around you? Is that exactly what you want to offer your dog?
And it's not simple. It's complicated.
Well, it's not rocket science. Speaking
Yeah.
of,
But some dogs, the more you get to know your dog, the easier this gets.
right?
Then you can move on to other behaviors that your dog never displayed before. Wait a minute, you didn't do that when you first got here. Well, I wasn't
Right.
comfortable enough to do that when I first got here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and one important thing that we have to always pay attention, you have to take in consideration that your dog will show aggression, will show resource guarding, will be like,
Yep.
don't think he wouldn't. Go with he will, and he will do it. And it's going to happen when you're not expecting it. So set everything up for the dog not to fail and you not to be surprised. And I
If
wanted
he's guarding his food, back off. Don't take his food. All right.
Exactly. Speaking of food, I have a video here of a dog who, a little bit of a background story, was a severe case of dog fighting. Somebody who works in rescue used that dog to make money on the side.
Was that a guardian breed rescue?
No.
Oh, okay. Whew.
So, can I share the video? It's about
Sure.
resource
It's a
guarding.
natural behavior.
Okay, sure.
Now we need to understand that resource guarding is a fear-based behavior. There's an emotion behind that behavior, and behind that emotion there is a thought. So sometimes when people approach dogs, thoughts are being triggered, and these thoughts trigger emotions. And then we have responses. So we're working with a new dog. We don't know about his emotions and about his thoughts, about people approaching. We can test it. For example, coming closer. If a dog doesn't change his behavior, continues doing what he does, he feels comfortable us approaching. And there is a threshold. We can be under threshold, we can be at threshold, or we can become over threshold if we come too close. Now my dog knows, it's actually a dog that I'm working with, that my approach means good things. So if I come closer, my dog thinks that I have good intentions and therefore his emotions are positive. For example, he has his favorite antler, he's cut in half. But in my hand, he doesn't know yet, I have something very yummy that he super loves. I don't even say the name. So when I approach him, I have something better. Huh? How's your bed? Good. Welcome. Now I can take that one and give him this one. You're welcome. And then I can make it even more complicated, because I can bring him something that he likes even more. A yummy treat. And then on you go. Because I'm not a taker, I'm a giver. And since it's Thanksgiving, and for dogs there is always Thanksgiving, I would like you to think about it. Your dog has the right to have things, and you have the right to give him things. You don't have the right to take things away from him that the dog loves.
So this dog was adopted. He was so aggressive you couldn't even put a leash on or a harness on,
That was a
And-
good job. A good video.
Mm-hmm.
right? So what you saw there was a very short thing. What happens over months
Mhm.
for him to have a prediction what's going to happen when I arrive. As I said before, what is the dog thinking, and what feelings will come up? That is the behavior that will come out at the end. So if the dog feels threatened, his behavior will be defensive, and his behavior will be aggressive. If the dog feels curious, his feelings are good, he wants what I have. So whatever you do, always think about, what does my dog feel right now? What is he thinking? And what does he want me to do? What does he expect me to do? And if his expectations are wrong, then prove him wrong. Prove him that that's not what I am. Through your behavior and through your approach. That's it. Resource guarding is not a willful behavior. We are more resource guarding than the dogs. We lock our cars, we put our partner a wedding ring on, we lock our property. We are bad resource guarders. And sometimes we teach the dog how to resource guard because we teach him that what he has being taken away from you. And some people suggest, well, take a bone away from him and take that away from him and leave him with nothing. Well, of course, he's going to learn that you guys are taking. Therefore, better safe than sorry. Keep it before they take it. So resource guarding is sometimes a learned behavior, but very often happens without the dog knowing it. It just happens because of stress. The more stress the dog gets, the more resource guarding he will do. That's it.
I got a question with that, Roman.
Yeah, you have 1 minute.
Okay. Okay, sorry. I was going to say, because with Winky, she doesn't get defensive. She just wants to eat all day. And it's like where I'm used to having a grazer versus someone who eats all day.
I would rule out hypothyroidism.
On the grazer?
Yep.
Yep.
It could be an underlying medical
Could be
condition that
medical.
makes-
Yeah. It
Okay.
could be a
And
medical
sometimes-
condition.
We have to take in consideration that guardian dogs need more food because of the metabolic system, and especially if they're working, up to 30% more food. Maybe the dog is just hungry. Maybe you need to up the fat content. Makes sense?
Yeah, and that's what when we hear of a dog that, like say a Pyrenees that doesn't do what most of the other peers do, blah blah blah. The first thing we look at, okay, is this dog feeling well? Okay, now it could just be that's his personality. Don't get me wrong, that can happen too, but we got to kind of put our minds at ease. Okay, especially if we work with you. Now, boy, what a show so far. This is thanks, Roman.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Good. I gotta go because I have an appointment for another
Yep.
Pyrenees.
Yep. And I've got one coming up too here in about a half hour. Bye, Roman. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Were there any questions down in there? I think Roman typed. Yep, he did. Except I missed it until just now.
Yeah.
Because He should have just said something. Anyway, let's see if we can end the show properly, and unlike the way we started it. You have any, what was your question, Chris? It was about the grazing, right?
Yeah, we've had a couple of dogs in our previous foster. Matilda and Mocha were both grazers, and literally we had 2 bowls, and so they would go, and whoever started, Matilda would eat first, and then afterwards she was done. Mocha would go
well,
a bit more,
and that's okay too. You're okay with that. What Roman was saying is watch for your signals. Yeah. Okay, if your dog's got something, you may not even know your dog has it. Like, I don't know what he's eating back here, but he may. What do you got, boy? No, he's just licking the carpet. But look for the indicators, especially a new dog. If you're trying to see what he's got, and next thing you know, he picks it up and runs. Okay, back off.
Yeah.
Back off. Find something to trade with.
Yeah, she hasn't growled with any food. If a bowl wasn't metal, she would eat the bowl, right? And it's just, and we feed her. We're feeding her a couple of cups. Mocha gets like 4 or 5 cups a day.
Oh, so this is Winky that can't get enough to eat. Is she underweight?
No.
Is she eating to store ahead, like hibernating bear?
Well, the joke is she looks like she needs to just go for a lot more walks.
That could be, but I would check with your director or your foster coordinator, whoever it is you guys check in with.
Right.
Okay. So, I would let them know that because, I don't, but she's still a puppy. She's also still growing.
Right.
So, but if you're not sure, verify it. Okay. All right. Well, wow. Lisa, you have anything to close with? I don't.
No, we have some wonderful dogs here for adoption. Ursus up in the Pacific Northwest, and we have Bailey who's looking for her forever home in Texas.
And we're going to be featuring Winky here before too much longer.
Where in Texas is Bailey located?
Houston.
Oh. Houston, yep.
Okay, that's where we are. Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are neighbors.
Well, Houston is this big.
Not on the map. It's only about that big. Okay.
During rush hour, it takes 2 hours to get across town.
I don't know. Molly, meet Chris. Chris, meet Molly. Molly is also one of the co-hosts for the shows.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That. Anyway.
We met through Matilda.
Now we're going to be seeing Mocha pretty soon too, because we want to kind of get to know a little more about him. He's a cool dog.
Yeah, he's mine to stay, but people want to know about the breed, and I use him at our farmer's market, and we walk through the farmer's market, and people are like, "What is he?" And I said, "He's just gorgeous. He's Gentle Ben," and
I saw it just before the show started. I saw a Facebook bound dog and some old couple, and beautiful, Great Pyrenees. And they said, so anybody that has this Newfoundland insures, you can, come get her.
Well, I know we got the short on time. We got to go, but there's a local bar here that is dog friendly. And so if you guys know the TV show Cheers, when Norm walks in, everyone goes, Norm, right? Yeah. So when Mocha walks in, everyone goes, Mocha. And I'm like, and they don't know who I am. They know Mocha. So
okay, you guys got to hold this down, because when Pickles walks in the room, nobody goes, Pickles.
Mocha, everyone knows Mocha.
All right, everybody.
People stop their car and they're like, hey, that's the most beautiful dog. What is it? I'm like, it's Great Pyrenees. You want to foster?
Awesome.
Yeah. Hey, you're welcome for the show. We're going to be doing it again next week and week after. Roman's going to be coming back. Roman's got good information. He gives you another perspective, another good trained set of eyes to help you through that. Helps you look, another set of eyes to look at it. Mm-hmm. And so that's amazing. And always remember, no two trainers act alike. Me and Roman probably act the closest, but because we're kind of on the same page. We don't do harm. And what a coincidence. The manual, the owner's manual I recommended says do no harm. Okay. So anyway, all right, everybody, enough of that. I go on way too far. Okay. So let me make sure we got 2 more comments. Oh, hi, Stacy. Yeah, Winky is cute. And they're going to get along just fine too.
Yeah.
And Bailey's beautiful.
Oh,
And so's
Ursus.
no. Well, yeah, yes, I don't want to get beat up.
How big is he? How many pounds is he?
How much does he weigh, Debbie?
Debbie,
you have
your
to-
mic's muted.
Well, hang on. I think I did that. Whoop, whoop.
Can you
Try
hear me?
that now, Debbie.
He's a little over 100,
Okay, so he's like Mocha.
Yeah.
and he
Well,
can
quit
stand
asking
to
me
use
to do
a few
snap.
pounds still.
So, okay. Anyway, Mocha and Winky got to change that name. What's her nickname?
She came from Bell County, so even though everyone uses it a lot, I like to call her Bella. But that's
Oh, okay. All right.
I do as Melise
Her
tells me.
official name is Winky, and it's going to
Yeah.
stay that way unless you adopt her. You can change it if you want, okay? But they have a paper trail that says Winky, and this is a rescue that answers to a higher power than God. Remember, the IRS thinks they're higher power than God. All right, so boy, they're learning something different, aren't they?
Right. And she's a little over a year old.
Right. We're going to get her settled in here another week or so, and we're going to get her on. We're going to feature her.
Yep.
If you
Yep.
go to the rescue page, you can see her videos.
Yes.
She has a video?
She has videos.
So
Oh, I know she has some video.
If you go
But
to
she
the
doesn't
rescue-
have a. Well, we're going to make her we'll have Melanie. We'll ask Melanie to make her one of those cool promo videos.
She can, but at the rescue page, the Great Pyrenees rescue page, she already has a couple of videos up.
Yeah.
Well, she can probably use clips out of that too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, all right. Hey, what's your weather doing down there in southern Arizona, Lisa?
We're gonna be rolling into the 80s and 90s next week.
Okay,
Anybody wants to come visit?
Yes,
we're in the
please.
middle of our
Cold.
winter storm. We're in the middle of our winter storm warning.
I saw that. Hmm.
Well, think about this. We're in Ohio and it's wintertime. So we're going to have cold air. We're going to have snow.
Right?
Nothing unusual. Anyway, Craig or Chris, thanks for bringing her on, and I think she did great.
She did.
She's chilling. She's a lovely, lovely dog. You know.
Yeah. Is that the virtual background that you checked on there? Is that what I'm seeing behind you?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, this is Texas, and it's going to be coming up in Bluebonnet City season, and that's what we're known for as a kid from New York. So I think
So that is bluegrass.
Bluebonnets.
Yeah.
I'm in Ohio. That's bluegrass. We don't call them bonnets. What's a bonnet?
It's
It's
a
a
flower.
flower.
It's a
It's a
flower.
Okay,
flower.
wait. That must be
state flower.
exclusive. Must be exclusive to your area then.
Well, the
It is a
Texas. That's why they
state
call it
flower.
Texas Bluebonnet, and they also have Indian paintbrush.
All right.
Hey, I
Okay.
became bilingual moving here.
Yeah, and we also don't pay overtime either, Chris. So just remember that.
Okay, sorry.
All right. Okay, we can add an extra 0 to your all zeros, right? Bye, everybody. We'll see you next
Bye.
week.
Thank you for
Bye.
having
Thank
us.
you.
Bye.